Welcome to the Glasstire Top 5 for the week of January 21st, 2016. I'm Rainey Knudson.
I am Christina Reese.
I like this week.
I do too.
Let's jump in. All right, number 5, David Aylsworth, the great David Aylsworth, a show titled Sweet, 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 Sweet Tea at Inmon Gallery in Houston. David is like one of my favorite painters in Houston. His works are recognizable. He definitely has a distinct style, but every time it's a little bit different. And I thought the installation of this show was dynamite.
Yeah, I got to see this show. I was in Houston last weekend and saw a lot of work, but I loved this. I walked in and it's very chewy. And I think
his paintings are always like the texture and the nubbly surface of his paintings. And he goes back and forth on the colors, but this one was real rich and earthy.
It's just, you just want to squeeze it.
It's just solid painter at the top of his game in a beautifully installed show.
Exactly. So number 4 this week is Matthew Craven at David Shelton's news space at the 4411 building off of Montrose in Houston. He's moved from Isabella Courts, which is where Carrie Inman's gallery is, to this space. It's very kind of fancy, and it's a really beautiful new gallery space. Okay, so the building is not new, but David Shelton.
The building is interesting. I think it's the fanciest gallery building in all of Texas. Terrazzo floors, soaring ceilings, beautifully designed spaces. They really are like museum galleries.
Yeah. And
these works on paper, they're large works on paper, are very nice.
They're ink with found photos collaged in, and he's a New York artist.
Most of these they're all works on paper, and some of them are drawings. They're very much pulling from Mexican decorative motifs and design motifs, and then some of them have images of, I think, Olmec, possibly Aztec, but I'm pretty sure Olmec statuary, like an old black and white photograph from a National Geographic, superimposed on top of this very colorful graphical work, which when you get close to it, you really see the detail. Number 3 is a show I saw last week in San Antonio, Turn Your Face Toward the Sun at Blue Star Contemporary, no longer Blue Star Contemporary Art Museum, which I think they dropped the art museum part of their name.
Good.
And just generally speaking, hats off to Mary Heathcott, who runs Blue Star. They have been doing really ambitious shows, really nice shows, and it just looks fantastic. This show is Charlie Morris and Liz Rodda. Charlie Morris is in San Antonio, Liz Rodda's in Austin. They both use found material, whether it's video or actual stuff that they find. I enjoyed the whole show, but the real standouts were Liz Rodda's videos, which are all exploring ASMR, Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, which you know more about than I do.
So she's going into YouTube, where there are millions of these videos that appeal to these people who have a particular kind of physical response to...
And it's meant to calm them, right?
It is. It's meant to have a very tranquilizing effect, and I believe that it does. It seems like if you have it... Because there's so much whispering and so much kind of textural activity going on, and there's a lot of touch... It seems like it's like a sexual fetish. It's absolutely not, apparently. But there are millions of these videos, and they're incredibly strange if you don't know what they're doing for the people who watch them. So she's taking some of the stranger elements of this and pairing it with other things that she finds. Is that right?
Yeah, well, some of them are, it's just a standalone video that she has found. And when you discover that she's found it, not actually produced it and shot it, it becomes more interesting. And I was struggling with why that is. But other ones are more sort of intentional in her part, where she's taken some audio and taken some video that doesn't necessarily go well and put them together. And I thought those were her most successful. And there's one of a girl whispering self-help sort of, she's saying quotes that are self-help, inspirational quotes, and she's whispering and chewing gum, which apparently is an ASMR thing. And it's combined with these visuals of these slick interiors that completely don't go with the audio, and it's a great video.
So number 2 this week is Obras. It's at Lora Reynolds Gallery in Austin. It is an exhibition of 9, I think, fairly young Brazilian artists, all sculpture and installation work. Looking through pictures of their work, it all looks quite kind of satisfying, and it's very much based on material. The show is curated by Lee Weingarten out of Houston, an art consultant out of Houston. I don't know how often art consultants come into commercial spaces to curate these days. I don't know if this is a thing.
I'm not sure whether I do care. I am curious to see these artists and what could be a very solid show.
I think it's going to be a solid show.
People who are all going to be kind of new to me.
I don't know if it matters who curated it as long as it works.
You know, the line has gotten so muddy, and for the most part, we're protected from the more grotesque aspects of the art market here in Texas, which is one of the things I like about Texas. And our number one for this week is not an exhibition, it's a talk. It's Charles Ray, back at the Menil. He spoke last October, right?
He did. He spoke last October, and Joshua Fisher wrote about it for us. He said it was the most exciting artist talk he's ever seen. And he makes a very good case for it, which is one of the reasons this is our number one pick this week. So Charles Ray is coming back.
The title of the talk is Matisse and Super Clay, Thoughts on Bronze in Rodin, Degas, and Matisse.
So I think no matter how technical or geeky this particular talk gets, and it might or it might not, I do think that that Charles Ray, the great Charles Ray, I think he's bringing a lot of wisdom to the table. I think there's a lot of warmth.
And for the most part, if I'm going to listen to somebody talk about thoughts on bronze and Rodin, Degas, and Matisse, I'd rather listen to an artist talk about it than, with all due respect, a scholar or academic talk about it. I'm interested in somebody who's actually dealing with this stuff himself and in the game and what he thinks about it.
Yeah.
And supposedly he's just a great speaker.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to be in Dallas next week. I'm looking forward to going to Big D.
Yeah, we'll shoot a top 5 in Dallas next week. There's so much here, and there will be more by the time you get here, and we'll cover Dallas a little more heavily.
We will go see some art, and we hope you do too.
Go see some art.